Good morning. Today's Tuesday, January 4th, and we're bringing you the latest news making headlines to help start your day.
Georgia continues to see a firestorm of new COVID infections, with nearly 1 in 3 tests coming back positive statewide.
Yeah, with such an overload of positive cases, many schools are changing their plans as students return from winter break. Our CBS 46 reporter Rebecca Schramm has more on this as she starts our coverage in today's Morning News Rewind.
Morning to you. Atlanta Public Schools is one of the districts going virtual for a while. I want to show you this Georgia map. You see how a lot of the outlying counties have low cases right now, but look at Metro Atlanta, where we're in the red as cases go off the charts. This is why so many of our school districts are going virtual this week, but not all of them. It's back to learning from home, at least for a while, in several Metro Atlanta school districts, including Atlanta Public Schools and school districts in Clayton, DeKalb, Fulton, and Rockdale counties. Some students tell us virtual learning isn't as easy as it sounds.
Sometimes teachers don't comprehend about there being too many kids at home using the internet, and it's not enough Wi-Fi for every child.
The districts decided to go virtual because of the surge in COVID cases. Health departments had so many cases to report over the weekend, it crashed the system for the Georgia Department of Health website, preventing the agency from posting its new numbers yesterday. Meanwhile, some districts are sticking with in-person learning, including the state's 2 largest school districts, Gwinnett and Cobb, which worries some parents.
I'm feeling very uncomfortable. The search is very high right now. I think waiting a couple of weeks going remote will help tremendously. And I just don't understand why Cobb County School District doesn't do that.
I also want to mention that Forsyth County schools are going virtual Thursday and Friday of this week so they can assess the staffing shortages they're dealing with. The other school districts that are going virtual, including Atlanta Public Schools, they're planning to reopen Monday the 10th. At least for now, that's the plan. Live in Atlanta, Rebecca Schramm, CBS 46 News.
All right, Rebecca, thanks for that. And during remote learning this week, the Fulton County School District is going to be offering free meal kits. Pickups will be at select Fulton County school sites on Thursday morning from 9:30 to 11:30. But in order to get a kit, you've got to pre-order online by midnight tonight. Meal kits are only available for district enrolled students.
6:38 this morning. We're keeping an eye on today with the stories you need to know.
In just a few days, the 3 men convicted of killing Ahmaud Arbery will learn their fate. Travis McMichael, Gregory McMichael, and William Roddy Bryan are all due in court this week for a sentencing hearing. All of them are facing the possibility of life in prison. They'll be sentenced Friday.
A federal magistrate judge has recommended keeping the case against now suspended Clayton County Sheriff Victor Hill. The indictment accused Hill of violating the civil rights of people in his custody. Prosecutors say he used excessive force against 5 men when he ordered them held in a restraint chair without justification and as punishment.
Hall County officials say they do not have to provide ballots written in Spanish for at least the next 5 years. Officials say an evaluation shows the county doesn't meet the requirement. The election board chairman says multilingual ballots can make elections more expensive. According to census data, 28% of Hall County is Hispanic.
MARTA is asking for federal funding to add a bus rapid transit line in Clayton County. The $300 million project would connect the College Park MARTA station to South Lake Mall with several stops along the way. If funded, construction could start by 2024 and be operational by 2026.
As one of her last official duties in office, former Atlanta Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms gives the city's highest civilian honor to some outstanding Atlantans. Chris "Ludacris" Bridges was awarded the coveted Phoenix Award for helping Atlantans for 2 decades. The mayor wrote on social media, "We thank you for sharing love and light with our young people, our future."
Atlanta is celebrating a change in leadership. Mayor Andre Dickens spoke to us after being sworn in as the city's 61st mayor. CBS 46 anchor Tracy Hutchins asked him about his plans for the city.
This is an amazing moment. This is not even my first official day. This is my first official hour.
Minutes after he was sworn in, I asked Mayor Andre Dickens about some of the top issues he'll tackle in his first 100 days, including Buckhead's quest for independence.
In your speech today, your inauguration speech, you made it very clear Atlanta, one city.
Right. We're going to be one city, and I'm going to do everything I can in the first 100 days to make sure of that. And that means to get the violent crime wave down. That also means to make sure that those that have chosen that it's time to leave Atlanta, that they're considering it, I want them to stay.
And curbing crime. He's given Atlanta Police Chief Rodney Bryant 100 days to deliver.
The clock is ticking for everyone when you don't meet the metrics. And so as long as Chief Bryant hits the metrics of bringing crime down, of making sure that we recruit the officers that we need, to retain the existing officers, and to do the community-based training that I want to see done so that we can see our officers protect and serve and be about community. If he can do that, he's hitting the metrics that we look for, and he stays.
And listening to the community.
People are asking me to serve and to help, and that's a good start. You know, some folks may see it as, oh my God, this is a lot of work. Everybody's telling me what they want to do. For me, it's just a menu of items that I now have to go out and you know, create and deliver upon.
Tracy Hutchins, CBS 46 News.
Your time is 6:46, and for the first time in U.S. Navy history, a woman is the commander of a U.S. nuclear aircraft carrier. Captain Amy Bauernschmidt is leading a group of some 5,000 sailors on the USS Abraham Lincoln. Yesterday, the service members deployed from San Diego Bay.
And for any commander of any unit, it is the most humbling experience in the world to know that you've been entrusted with the lives of those men and women that support and defend our Constitution.
The sailors return after a 6 to 10 month deployment. Trending this morning, self-driving trucks have reached a milestone after new technology hits public roads.
Plus, David Bowie's estate makes a deal selling the late singer's music catalog for a pretty penny. Our Brooks Baptiste has the stories topping your feeds this morning. Brooks?
Hey, good morning to you guys. Yeah, Warner Chappell now has global music publishing rights to David Bowie's catalog, including all of your favorite hits. Variety puts the value of that deal at more than $250 million. So it was a pretty penny indeed. Yeah, it covers every song the legendary singer ever wrote, including those on the posthumous album Toy, which comes out this Friday. Very soon, semi-trucks could be driving themselves on the freeways. That's something you're excited about? Take a look at this. Autonomous trucking startup Too Simple has completed its very first self-driving truck run on open public roads without a human in the vehicle. Yeah, the company's autonomous driving system navigated an 80-mile trip in Arizona, and although the trip was successful, they do say that it could be a couple of years before self-driving trucks are commercially available. Well, the Atlanta Hawks couldn't get a win last night, but Trae Young could not be stopped. Young stealing the show, scoring a career-best 56 points and 14 assists, becoming the first time that that's been done in the same game in NBA history. The star point guard also became the 6th player in league history with at least 55 points and 10 assists. Okay, so for those who love sports, all right, that's cool. But for those who may be like, okay, so what exactly does that mean? Well, that puts him in the same category as Michael Jordan, Russell Westbrook, and James Harden. Even if you don't know sports, you've heard of those names, I would think. But guys, unfortunately, that still wasn't enough for the Hawks to win last night.
That's a lot of points to put down and lose a game, isn't it?
That's kind of what he's had to do recently since the team has been so injured. But MJ, the GOAT, Russell Westbrook, James Harden, future Hall of Famers. So Trae Young's in good company there.
Pretty good.
And young right now, too. I mean,
very young.
Still got some time, absolutely.
Really young. As a lot of people are struggling to find a COVID-19 test, there's a new problem looming. Doctors are now saying those home test kits that were literally flying off store shelves are not accurate.
Yeah, a lot of people have these kits.
Right.
Our Tori Cooper is live right now in Henry County at a testing site with more on the issue. Tori, so what are doctors saying?
Yeah, doctors are saying that these rapid tests are antigen tests, meaning they have that fast turnaround time, but they're also now saying that turnaround time is impacting the accuracy.
We tend to take a positive test and interpret it as a real positive. Where the disparity happens is really the negative at-home test. A negative at-home test doesn't mean that you are truly negative at this point.
Doctors say if you are looking for accuracy, you may not get it at home.
If you have a negative test, my suggestion would be you go seek out additional testing that may be better, whether it be antigen testing or preferably PCR testing.
Doctors told CBS 46 that PCR tests are the best chance to ensure you aren't spreading the virus. The latest data from the CDC shows 1 in 5 symptomatic patients received a negative rapid test before eventually testing positive for COVID-19. And the FDA shows rapid tests are less sensitive to detecting Omicron. Now, if you are looking to get a test that's a PCR test, make sure that when you go to one of these testing sites that you specify that, because a lot of these testing sites offer both a rapid test and a PCR test. Now, also, if you are here in Henry County or if you were just trying to find a test, you can come out here at 9 a.m. because that's when this testing site that previously closed down will be back open. Reporting live in Henry County, I'm Tori Cooper, CBS 46 News.
This morning, there's a new push to address the ongoing racial disparity in how pregnant women are treated nationwide. The U.S. is the highest maternal mortality rate for a developed country, and Georgia ranks among the worst in the country. The CDC says every year, some 700 women nationwide die during childbirth or soon thereafter. Black women are at least 3 times more likely to die from a pregnancy-related cause than white women.
A study in Florida showed this, that black children had higher birth rates and higher survival rates when there were black doctors delivering the baby.
Now there's a move on Capitol Hill to provide more than $1 billion in funding to address the historic disparity. The funding would increase and diversify the healthcare workers who treat and care for pregnant women and new mothers.
New this morning, we all know that Atlanta is a pretty hot real estate market, but now Zillow says it's one of the hottest in the country. The company just released a new top 10 list for what it believes to be the hottest housing markets this year. Atlanta came in at number 7. The typical home value about $330,000, and Zillow believes home values in Atlanta are going to jump more than 21% through November. As for the hottest housing markets, that is Tampa, Jacksonville, Raleigh, San Antonio, and Charlotte. They round out the top 5.
Good news if you're a homeowner, not great news if you're trying to buy. Following a much-watched trial, a jury found Elizabeth Holmes guilty of defrauding investors Monday.
Brooks Baptiste joins us with a breakdown of the charges against her and how much time she could be facing in prison. Brooks, what a tumble this is for this woman.
Absolutely. You know, here's the thing. Elizabeth Holmes was often compared to former Apple CEO Steve Jobs. She had many admirers. Many would say that she had a bright future as well. Well, she founded a blood test startup called Theranos, but now she faces some serious prison time after knowingly misleading investors and doctors. Holmes was found guilty on 4 of 11 federal fraud charges, including conspiracy to commit wire fraud against Theranos investors and 3 wire fraud charges from 2014 totaling more than $144 million. Now, Holmes was found not guilty on 4 other fraud charges, including those ones that were related to patient fraud, but the jury was deadlocked on 3 of those charges concerning defrauding investors.
They really focused on the law, and the fact that they asked for the law several weeks ago to bring home with them is very telling. They treated each of these counts very distinctly, and then for the remaining 3, they decided to tell the judge that they were deadlocked.
Well, the judge is expected to declare a mistrial on those 3 charges, but how much time could she be facing? Well, up to 80 years in prison, although legal experts say that that would be unusual in a fraud case. Guys.
Yeah, it's a long time, but that company that she founded was worth up to $9 billion at one point, so that's certainly significant crime here for sure. Brooks, thank you. In 2 days, the nation will mark 1 year since supporters of former President Trump stormed the U.S. Capitol. So far, at least 18 Georgians have been charged in connection to the attack. As we approach the 1-year mark, a new CBS News poll found 85% of Democrats call the riot an insurrection, while 56% of Republicans say participants were defending freedom. The poll also reveals a majority expect there to be violence over losing in future presidential elections. President Biden and Vice President Harris plan to mark the 1-year anniversary of the January 6th attack at the U.S. Capitol. Former President Trump is also planning a news conference at Mar-a-Lago.
In consumer news this morning, the Biden administration is taking action aimed at lowering the price of meat. The White House plans to distribute $1 billion of American Rescue Plan funding to expand and also diversify the nation's meat processing capacity. The plan helps producers address inspection costs, purchase more equipment, and it also provides workplace training and safety.
We're excited about being able to have local processing done by local people and then sell directly to the consumer.
The White House is also proposing new rules that would crack down on anti-competitive practices. Your time right now is 18 minutes after 6, and this morning we're learning new details about the EF1 twister that was caught on camera over Covington on New Year's Eve.
It was on the ground for 7 minutes, and during that time, one woman says she was in her car when it got picked up and tossed around. Alicia Jacques says she thought her life was over. She was with her brother in a Chick-fil-A drive-thru when they spotted the tornado but couldn't get out. The twister picked up her SUV before it landed 100 feet from where they had been.
When it was flipping, it said 911's been activated. It called 911 for me, thank God. But it flipped 3 or 4 times. It was absolutely horrible, horrible. Look at my vehicle. You would think that I died in that car.
Good Samaritans pulled Jacques and her brother out of the SUV. Somehow they weren't severely injured. The tornado in Covington was one of 2 EF1 tornadoes that touched down on New Year's Eve, while the other was in Carroll County.
Thanks for watching CBS 46 News. Watch us live wherever you are, our mobile and our streaming news app. You can also watch us on Roku, Apple TV, and Fire TV.